Okay, it is 9:15 a.m. and these are the stocks on the main watch list. One of the things that I'm going to consider is perhaps, I might not do it, but there's a good chance I might trade a larger position size. If I trade a larger position size, I think I'll take the trade more seriously. If it happens to be a starter set when I trade a larger position size, that's going to be the case. But if I continuously keep trading a larger size, which would only be like $1,000, that's going to mean that eventually it's going to be working out. Ideally, I'm going to be holding the positions better. Definitely want to be in a position where, it's having a morning panic bounce play and I sell when it breaks VWAP and goes slightly above it. That's the ideal situation. It's almost like a cheat code, but it's not an exact science because sometimes it can fail. Sometimes it only gets up a little or just reaches it and it stops. So I have to be careful with that. GGII is going to be a number 5 potential setup there. GVSI is the same. Although less ideal, I'll always favor GGII more. HTZ GQ. This one is nice because it does make clean setups, but the range it's just not that nice. So INCC, I would like to see an uptrend. If it can uptrend today, that will be nice because then tomorrow could be a morning panic bounce play. LTNC will be a degenerate morning panic bounce play if it does it. I'll be interested in seeing if this thing finishes green today or provides some kind of an opportunity in that sense. I mean, I would never hold these things overnight, but maybe at some point I will. And, I want to see if this thing can uptrend with what I said yesterday. UATG is just going to be a wash. It's a nice uptrending stock. This one's kind of breaking out. Now, one thing about FBCD that I'm interested in, I might consider a buy and holding it. If we look at the overall markets, it doesn't look too bad. It could be worse. It could definitely be worse. It could be better too, but it could definitely be worse. But the thing that I've learned from that webinar, right, from one of Jack's webinars, something like this, is a 15-day, 15-minute chart. Something where we have a big spike, downtrend, puts up, it is a lower high, but it is putting up. This one didn't really do it, but this could be like a higher low from here. Then we break past this level, and then consolidation, and then it breaks the day high ideally. This is looking a lot like FBCD. Let me see if I can get them both. It's right about right here. I don't know, that might be kind of hard to tell, but we do have that big spike, a downtrend, and then we put up like right here. It's a lower high from here, but then we have a nice downtrend that is higher than this level. We did have a small dip there, but then we have this consolidation between, I guess, what, the 13s and then the top of the range. Well, I guess it would be the top of this range, so it would have to trail right at 14 and 15 perhaps. I'm still learning this, but I might even consider this and hold it. So that's what I got at the moment. Number 5 setups, and I might be interested in this one too, just to practice. Alright, 9:51 a.m. Just one trade here, and let's go ahead and put the order status. Alright, so first GGII, I tried to get executed at 9:32. It was right at the turnaround actually. At my limit was 9:32. My limit was 845. Now, had I have had my limit at 85, I might have been executed, but I had it at 845, just did not get executed. And I was kind of salty that I missed it, but now looking at how crazy it trades, I don't feel bad anymore. It's just a little bit of a crazy, like, jumpy stock. So I guess that's showing that it's starting to lose itself, it's starting to lose volume. Definitely has volatility, but it's not as clean as it used to be. So we had that panic here, and had a nice spiky meet. I would have probably sold this one very profitably, or maybe just right at the VWAP level. Who knows? It's just speculation, but really this was a nice spike if you just look at the volatility. I mean, if I could have gone in at 85, probably would have gone in at 85, and then it got to, you know, a cent. So 85 to 100, right? That's pretty good range. Not good price action, but it still did the pattern. It could have been much worse, actually. Now, we didn't have like a clean big volume spike right here, big volume candle. None of that happened, but that's alright. GVSI, nothing I wanted to trade. HTZ GQ, didn't even look at it. Looks like it just spiked initially, and it's still uptrending. INCC, this is nice. It's up 27%. It's on its third day here. That's very nice. You know, if I was risky and I would have taken a buy, like, you know, the one I was talking about at 50, I think it was at 50, right? I mean, that's nice now at 67, but I probably would have held it overnight, and it looks like it did kind of open with a slight downtrend, so that might have scared me out. LTNC is uptrending. I mean, it's up very little, but hey, look, 2 green candles. Now this one's a green candle too, even if it looks like that in and of itself. That's pretty nice. UATG, haven't seen this. I mean, let's just see if it breaks over this level. I did trade the Jack style thing, and I just got out of it just because it just completely messed with me. You know, somebody had a lot of shares, right? So this is the story. 943, I got executed, and I was watching this like throughout the entire level. I should have now considered a buy towards VWAP at 150, so I would have, you know, had like some kind of a security, a VWAP level right at the level I buy. It just started the spike initially just very nicely, and I was like, dude, I'm not chasing this. I'm not chasing this. It got as high as 165, and it's just literally going straight up, right? And then I took my buy at 943, which was this candle right here at 16. So give or take right here, 943. And this was when somebody just had a humongous bag of shares. Let's see. It was a lot of volume. I mean, a lot of, just somebody dumped a lot of shares, right? And then I just did not like how like volatile the stock was. It was a bit too volatile. Let me try to make this right at the, there we go. Okay, very volatile. Had a huge drop, right? Got as low as 14.6, which was pretty impressive. If I had been more aggressive, I would have considered selling. Not selling. I would have considered buying, and I considered it, but I mean, I didn't actually do it, right? So, and then I had that nice spike, and then the downtrend. It just looked all sketchy, right? So I didn't like this price action, and if you didn't see that, this is pretty sketchy too. I guess that guy has more shares to dump. Just no thank you. Don't like the price action. Anyway, eventually it started the uptrend at 950, and I wanted to see it do some kind of healthy consolidation, but I just didn't like it. It was looking a little too sketchy. I saw that 163 for a small profit. The price action just didn't look nice, so I got out for that reason. I held this trade for a good 7 minutes. You know, I wonder how this thing would have traded if there wasn't some guy trying to unleash his bag, but that's the situation. So again, Mr. GGII, maybe if I had a higher limit, I would have been executed, but I don't feel bad because it did trade like trash. FBCD, just somebody had to dump their shares, and it looks like they're still dumping their shares, which is kind of messing with the pattern. You know, this thing is still holding that 159 level, you know, right here if you want to count the wick, or give or take, it's just holding 15, and that's the most important part, that it holds 15, and then the longer it can hold there, the more it can uptrend. It's a small movement, you know, type of stock. It's moved very slowly. I mean, I know in theory it's a lot, but the way it trades, it's very, very small. If you look at the long-term chart, right, this thing can continue the uptrend. I just had my sell there because I didn't like the price action. It's probably just the end of it, but you know, I'd rather just be out and just watch and learn from it. At least I can say I got in a trade with it. No setups at the moment. I'll keep looking. Okay, it's 10:38. I just want to make a quick update. FBCD. Yeah, I just got out because I didn't like the price action anymore, and the volume isn't that nice, but you know, this is the kind of setup that could, you know, continue uptrending, and I would have liked it though if it became like a number 3, like a transition from number 2 here to number 3 when it starts going exponential. But I think I learned a lesson here that volume is really important, and this one didn't have much volume. There was somebody who had a lot of shares to sell here and here, and that kind of led to this move. I could have traded it better, sure. I could have gone in at when I first held this VWAP level, give or take 15, but I think I just learned a lot from it, and I'm very happy that I tried. That's, I think, the most important part. Now it can do whatever it wants. It can hold VWAP and uptrend the rest of the day. I don't know, but it'll just be something I'll learn from. GGII, again, I tried going for that buy. Maybe if I had my limit at 85, it would have been executed, but that's fine. Didn't trade that nice regardless. GVSI, nothing I want to do here. HTZGQ, would like to see this downtrend. I mean, this price action, this could signify that this thing could just fall off a cliff if it doesn't get above 6 and hold above 6. This thing could just reject and just create a big panic, possibly. Of course, that's just guessing, doesn't have to happen. INCC uptrend, nothing I want to trade here. Not really, but maybe an inverse head and shoulders. LTNC, nothing I want to trade here either. Nothing I want to trade here either. No setups right now, but I'll keep looking. Alright, it is 9:46 p.m. I've been pretty busy, and what I'm going to do now is just call it off for the rest of today, just to see really what happened. LTNC was actually uptrending very... Wait, what's going on? That's Newegg. I knew something was off, but definitely LTNC was uptrending. It actually got as high as 33, a bit far from the VWAP, but it still finished up 5% today, which is nice. Sure, I could have considered a buy yesterday, seeing these two candles and everything, and the overall market's looking better. But I didn't, and I don't feel too bad. It's just, not the best volume, but I could have considered it. What I did consider was FBCD for that setup I was interested in, and that ended up being my trade. And it didn't work out too nicely because I didn't like the price action. Somebody had a lot of shares to sell. But even if there was somebody, like in this case, if there was a lot of volume, it wouldn't have mattered that much. It wouldn't have influenced the price that much. So I bought at 943, didn't want to chase it on the spike here, but when it dropped to 16, I thought that was the end, like a small dip, just a little distance from the VWAP, but actually got way below it with that big seller there. Thought about taking in some size when it was down in the 15s if I had been more aggressive. I was close to, but I was worried that it might just continue to downtrend too. But it eventually did a nice spike back as high as, if you want to count the wig, 166. And if you want to count the bounce after it, I mean, it got as high as 169. And the setup is still in place because it's holding above this breakout level, although not that nicely. It can definitely continue the uptrend. The problem here is that there just isn't much volume. So again, I bought right here at 943, held through this dumping action, and I ended up selling at 950, so I held. Although I like to see myself hold on the setup that kind of traded better initially, not a crazy big spike. I'm sure I can do that. And yeah, I got to this, right here at my sell. Just a little bit from the very top right, but not too much. Just overall so because it wasn't good price action. Smaller position size here. I did try with GGII. Ooh, it had a nice drop here. This would have been sketchy though because it was late in the day, and I might not have even traded it wanting the inverse head and shoulders, so that wasn't the case here. But this is a pretty cool drop. Maybe I would have considered it. I mean, it did trade with a lot of volume, but in the morning I was interested in GGII. I did not get executed at 845, which was right here. Again, maybe an entry at 85 would have got me in, and I would have sold into the spike, ideally past VWAP. Looks like it's down today. Would like to see more morning panic bounce plays, and hopefully I can nail it. I missed yesterday's as well, so let's just see. Although it is trading like a bit sketchier, a bit jumpier, as if it's running out of volume, so I'll take that into consideration. It's not just completely, my fault. GVSI, no morning panic bounce play, just Nothing I wanted to trade. HTZGQ did not do a drop later in the day. I actually wanted one, thinking that maybe it's going to downtrend. It's trying very hard. It's doing a really good job holding itself. I even made an alert. You know, I'm starting to use alerts, and that never happened today. It never got to this 589 level again for a potential downtrend. It had a nice uptrend, only 7%, but still nice. INCC, I have no idea what happened to this. It just fell off the cliff. It looks like it had bad news or something, almost like a financing. Almost that bad, not that bad, but just pretty close to looking really horrible, down 50% on the day. And yeah, that's all I got. Just gonna call it off. Overall, I think a good trading day. I was considering also a larger size with GGII. I was considering 10,000 shares at 845, so that would have been an $845 position. I think if I just trade a larger position size, I'll take it more seriously. I like trading small, but I don't want to trade so small that I'm not taking it too seriously in terms of me doing better and holding trades better. So that's the mindset with that. I'm going to just call it off right here. Again, just a pretty good trading day. I don't feel too bad. I did try with FBCD. Could have considered a buy with LTNC at some point, maybe like slightly under VWAP. That would have been kind of nice. It was just a bit sketchy, you know, because of that 3-cent area. But I guess here, once it started to really hold it, 3 cents at the VWAP level, maybe that would have been a better inclination for a buy. And it did get as high as 33, so not that much range, but just, you know, maybe ideas that I'm thinking of to, you know, continue on and become a better trader. So yeah, I'm gonna call it off. Just once again, a pretty good trading day, but I have a lot of things I need to improve with.